Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 techniques for attracting love using the law of attraction. Now I believe that this video can be the missing link for so many people, understanding that the process is more about how we embody the feeling of love so that that transmits to other people and then we're more likely to attract it. So I'm going to give you tools in order to do that, going to give you a practical understanding that you can actually apply to make it something that is real for you. So the first part of it, and the number one technique I have, is to understand how to embody self-love and how that transmits to other people. Now the idea behind this is something that science is starting to prove as well, is something that is called mirror neurons, which means that when we go out to other people, the way that we think is literally being entrained with other people, and they can feel how you feel about yourself. They can, in a way, pick up on that. So the idea is that however you feel is going to be how people feel about you. It's going to be something that's projected out to other people. Now the idea is that, as I say in almost all my videos, we don't necessarily attract that which we want, but we always get a reflection of who we are being. Now what this means is that part of who we are being is not only the action we take, the self-image we have, but it's also the emotions that we are feeling. So what we must learn to do is to embody the emotion of feeling love for who we are and knowing that we are already 100% whole and complete. Now the technique and the way that I want to share this with you has to do with understanding the RAS, or the reticular activating system in our brain, which is a fancy word for our selective focus. So the more we're focused on the positive aspects of ourselves, the more we're focused on things that we're grateful for, maybe personality traits that we're thankful for, the more that we begin to feel that about ourselves, and the more that's translated to other people. So the idea is that a lot of times we're focused on the weaknesses we have, and what that causes is negative emotion, that causes resistance, and that causes us to detract from the people that we actually want to attract. So the simple way to do this is every day sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and focus on what you're grateful for in your life. Focus on your strengths and what you're good at. I think the word confidence actually breaks down to mean trust. Trust in yourself. Trust and know that the more you focus on your strengths, the more that you buy into who you are, and the more that other people will feel that off of you, and then they'll buy into you as well. So the idea is to simply feel that emotion by tailoring your focus and focusing on what you're grateful for. Now, all of us have insecurities, and when you have insecurities, what you can do is you can reframe it. You can start to look at it as a positive light. Like if you're talking about freckles, if you're talking about anything at all, look at it and realize that you are already whole and complete, that it makes you unique for who you are, and then you start to move on to things you can actually focus in a positive way on. Now the second one I have for you is also a very powerful way to let go of the beliefs you have around relationships and who you attract. So understand that more important than just the law of attraction is also understanding that our beliefs and our definitions are creating our life experiences. So if we believe that we only attract a certain type of girl, if we believe we only attract a guy that treats us a certain way, the idea is that what is happening is that belief, that definition is continuing to perpetuate the same cycle. In a way, we're getting a skewed sample. It's almost like we're meeting those people and we're seeing them because that's reaffirming that belief that we have. The idea is to simply write down on a piece of paper what those beliefs are, and then as you look at them, realize that they are no longer what you prefer to experience. They are no longer the conditioned thinking that you prefer to stay perpetuated within. What you then do is you take yourself out of the conditioned thinking and you start to intend for what you want. Get specific for the kind of character traits that you want in your significant other. Get specific with the kind of person that you think you deserve. And as you do this, you're shifting it from the pattern of what you've been practicing in order to then put it into the intention for what you have. It's a very powerful process, and it's something that will then shift your focus. And another part of our definitions that's very important in understanding is that We grow up many times believing that someone else outside of us will make us feel whole and complete. It's almost like the Disneyland type analogy of the happily ever after. The thing is if we believe that somebody else is responsible for our happiness and our feeling of validation, then what we end up doing is externalizing our happiness and externalizing our love. The idea is to realize that we can change our definitions about the way life works. We can change our definitions for us already knowing we're whole and complete. And as we start to have that perspective, we will start to feel and give ourselves permission to feel those emotions from within. Now, the third technique I have for you is something that I have shared many times before, but it's just simply so powerful, so I feel like I have to share it again. And understand that when we are able to influence our subconscious mind, that is when everything changes. They've shown that over 90% of our life is ran by our subconscious mind. And the most powerful way to influence our subconscious mind is to feel the emotions of what we want to experience as we go to bed at night. The idea is that our brainwave activity at night is going from the awake states of alpha beta state into the theta delta state. In the theta and delta state is the most powerful impression that we can make over our subconscious mind. When we are growing up, from the age of being born about to the age of 8 to 12, we are predominantly in a theta state, which means that we're very absorbent of all the beliefs that come to us. We're very observant and we really take on all the beliefs of our environment. But the idea is that as we get older, we move more into the conscious states, and then those beliefs start to harden and just simply the way we see the world. Now, we can still influence our subconscious mind, but we have to use the power of the awareness of when our subconscious mind is most impressionable. As you go to bed at night, feel the emotions of having what you want to experience already. Go through what is called a mental rehearsal, which simply means that you envision the best version of yourself, you envision the kind of partner you prefer to have, and as you start to do that, you will start to make it about the feeling. You will move from the intellectualness into the heart, and as the Heart Math Institute has proven, the heart is much more powerful. It's actually thousands of times more powerful than that of the brain. So we make this a much more visceral process. And the idea is that as we are doing that when we're going to bed at night, as we're seeing the best version of yourself and we're able to really feel into that, what we begin to do is we begin to see that leak into other parts of our life. It becomes the predominant vision for who we are, and it becomes something that changes just about everything. So you can do that right when you wake up in the morning. You can do that right when you go to bed at night. Feel the emotions, go through the mental rehearsal, and feel like you already have it. So one more time, the 3 techniques are: you can first off start to love yourself. Start to focus on the strengths you have in your life. As you do that and you start to feel that from within, you're going to be projecting that out to other people, and other people will literally feel that off of you. The second thing you can do is become very aware of the definitions you have, of the beliefs you have for the kind of people you attract in your life. And as you become aware of it, you can shift it over to the intention for what you really prefer to experience. And then the third technique is the most powerful way to influence your subconscious mind. 30 minutes before you go to bed, 30 minutes when you wake up in the morning, focus on your desire, focus on your self-image, and knowing that that is who you prefer to be now. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and as always, I will see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.